all heard it. It's always darkest before the dawn. You have to push through the hard to get to the place you're trying to get to.
You know, there's one place that all the people with the greatest potential are gathered. One place, and that's the graveyard.
The number one regret of the dying is they didn't take risks. They didn't become their ideal self. And I think that sometimes people hold off greatness and courage because they don't want to risk failure and they don't want to risk shame. And I think you got to risk it.
Learn that no matter what happens or how bad it seems today, life does go on and it will be better tomorrow. You need to decide what you want. You need to decide what you want to be remembered for. You need to decide what your legend will be. Let me tell you something. You listen to me, and listen to me closely. Success doesn't come to the most intelligent or the most talented. Success will come to those who are the most hungry.
Fear is a companion that you do not need. It wants to stay the whole course of your life and tell you, I'm here to keep you safe. If you would listen to me, you'll be safe. And the thing about playing it safe is that you'll never be able to open up what's in the safe. You see, what's in the safe is treasure. What's in the safe is something great. But if you can ever break through and open that safe, the combination to winning is overcoming fear, testing your limits, and then discovering what's possible.
It's dangerous to dwell on past mistakes because people sort of define themselves by the worst moments that they've ever had. You gotta get through failure. It's very important, and you get through it by just picking yourself back up and moving forward and going.
And there's a thing in your life called momentum, and if you're stuck in your life, it's because there's a lack of momentum in it. Momentum takes average, ordinary people and makes them appear to be superhuman. You have to do really difficult and feared things first. So if you could start to build the habit of doing feared things first, difficult things first, if you can survive the temporary, on the other side of temporary pain, you meet another version of yourself. And I've found that in my life. Most people avoid pain and discomfort, and that what happens is they never create any momentum in their life.
The journey to success comes with a lot of what? Failure. So why don't you teach yourself, like I taught myself, is how to fail properly. You're going to have to learn how to get up extremely fast because you are going to have a million setbacks on this journey. And that's how I literally taught myself how to fail first.
So many people live in their head, they go to therapy in their head, they go in circles and nothing changes because it just becomes a circular conversation. And so what do you got to get yourself to act? Well, to get yourself to act, you have to get yourself in a state where you'll do it. So you can take anything and make it represented in your mind as difficult or easy. And the way we represent things is the way we feel. Experience life, you experience life you focus on. I focus on what's wrong, my life is wrong. I focus on what I love, my life is love. It really comes down to, yes, the way you represent the world is the way you experience the world. What's life? Oh, it's a test. Oh, then what's life like if it's a test? Well, if it's like a test, then it's hard, and I gotta study, and I could fail, or someone would say, then life's easy because I'm good at tests. Or is life a battle? Then those people always are looking for someone to fight with. They expect there's gonna be a fight. It's always a struggle, and they find a way to make it a struggle. Is it a gift? Like, however you represent life, it'll change completely what you're feeling and what you're doing.
When you open that up and you're able to see that there is more inside of you than anyone ever imagined, and that fear was just false evidence appearing real. It appeared real, but it was false from the beginning, and the truth is what will set you free. And what sets you free is when you see yourself as you can be. When you can look in the mirror and realize that the greatest thing that you've got to overcome is the imagery you had of yourself not being your best. But your greatest days are ahead.
We become people that only care about the outcome, then we lose ourselves. Marcus Aurelius gives us a very nice idea on how to find the good. He says, to the lover of glory, it is the reactions of others. To the lover of pleasures, it is his own passive experience. But to the intelligent man, it is his own action.
But for people with a growth mindset, the brain becomes most active when receiving information about what they could do better next time. In other words, people with a fixed mindset worry the most about how they're judged, while those with a growth mindset focus the most on learning. There are other consequences of mindset. People with a fixed mindset see effort as a bad thing, something that only people with low capabilities need, while those with a growth mindset see effort as what makes us smart, as the way to grow. And when they hit a setback or failure, people with a fixed mindset tend to conclude that they're incapable, so to protect their ego, they lose interest or withdraw. We observe that as lack of motivation, but behind it is a fixed mindset. Whereas people with a growth mindset understand that setbacks are part of growth, so when they hit one, they find a way around it.
If you've forgotten the language of gratitude, you'll never be on speaking terms with happiness, right? Like, what are you grateful for? Every single day, just slow down, right? Like, what are you grateful for, man? Right? Because it recalibrates and puts us in the space and place that when I'm grateful, I learn more. When I'm grateful, I'm a little bit better, right? When I'm grateful, I listen a little more. When I'm grateful, I'm more in the moment.
You have to understand you are on your own unique journey, and your truth is going to be unique to you. So as you go down that journey of trying to be authentically who you were made to be and find your truth, there's going to be so many people that do not agree or do not align with that path.
Belief comes before ability. You're not always born with the ability, but you have to believe before you have the ability. And if you believe, you have the ability, and then you have the courage to take action on that belief and that ability, then you can start moving forward. That is momentum. Momentum is potential. It's not guaranteed success, but it is potential.
Well, I have some ups and you're going to have some downs. But during those down moments, that's where the growth takes place. That's where the work is.
The reason why a lot of people won't become who they want is because they're too attached to who they've been. So I was willing to let go of everything and everybody. See, another reason why people won't get there is because the doorway is for you to fit through. You're trying to carry everybody else through because you're trying to be Rescue 911. And you got to rescue you first.
Here's what I know. I know that until you make a decision that you no longer want to feel how you feel, or you no longer want to think the way that you think, or you no longer want to have the kind of results or no results that you have, until you make that decision that, you know what? I know I don't feel great. I know I doubt myself. I know I've had a lot of bad things happen. I know there's a lot that I regret, but damn it, you've got to start with wanting something better for yourself. And then I personally think the most important thing is to start acting like the person who has the things that you want right now, even though you don't feel like it.
And when you feel the highest pressure, the highest stress, and the highest anxiety, when you're in the pursuit of something greater, it's a good indication that you're actually on the right path. It's a position that you want to actually be in, because once you push through this time of extreme stress, pressure, and anxiety, on the other side is the promised land that you've been looking for.
Self-confidence is self-trust, and self-confidence is the process of keeping the promises that you make to yourself. So the way we begin to build our self-confidence up is we start setting promises up with ourselves that we keep. You need to begin to make promises to yourself, set up the game early where you can keep them, stack that stuff and create momentum. And what happens is you begin to build a reputation with yourself that you can trust you.
How do you know what you're used to is better than a life that's to come? When life starts changing, when life starts moving, when things start evolving, when people start changing, when you start growing, oftentimes if we've had a set of great experiences in our past, when it says, how do you know the life that you're used to is better than the life that's to come? And so when you think about the life that's to come, new normal, right? A transition, having to pivot, having to make different decisions, having to make a new career choice, having to close the door in a chapter on another career. How do you know the life that you're used to is better than the life that's to come, right? Embrace it. It goes together. One is glorious, one is rich, right? It goes together, man.
The quote goes like this: one day, day one. One day, or day one.
What does it mean to live an infinite life? Clearly, our lives are finite. We're born, we die, we come, we go. Life is infinite. The game of life will continue with us or without us. Which means every single one of us has a choice. We don't get to choose the nature of the game. Life is infinite. We don't even get to choose if we want to play in the game or not. Once you're born, you're in it. We get one choice. Do you want to play with a finite mindset? Or do you want to play with an infinite mindset? To play with a finite mindset means waking up every day and say, I'm going to be the best, I'm going to be better than everybody else. And when you die, you take none of it with you. Or we can choose to live our lives with an infinite mindset, which means I'm going to leave this world in better shape than I found it. It means I'm going to devote my life to see that those around me rise. And we know that we're living with an infinite mindset because our obsession is seeing that we have an impact on the lives of the people around us.
The biggest mistake a person can do right now, no matter in which situation you are, is to give up. You might not reach the best version of yourself in this lifetime, but a better one than you are right now. Have got to decide what it is that you want the future to look like. And the more specific and the more clear you are, the more likely it's going to happen. The more you understand of what that moment is that you're trying to create and why you're trying to create it. And then you now can build the plan and the strategy to get there. Now you look at that end and the result and what you want it to be and how you're going to feel and what it's going to mean to you, and you just keep visualizing yourself there the entire step of the way. The entire step of the way. And it is going to eventually reveal itself all the things that you need to do in order to get there.
You may have a lack of confidence because you just haven't been showing up for yourself. Your words have no meaning. We don't have to stay in the past. We don't even have to go too far into the future. And we come back to this present moment and we say, you know what, my presence is perfection and my presence has purpose. And yeah, I haven't been showing up for myself. Yeah, there's been a lack of accountability. But you know what? I have another step. I have another breath. And then this next step, and then this next breath,